Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Anno 1800 Colossus of the New World, the mod by Taludas. We're back on our big big island that is Santa Cruz, a pleasant town right now, with a few buildings just popping around and a few people walking around with their donkeys and horses and alpacas, of course, because we are in the south. Now we do have the next mission here, so we have a main mission, kind of like we need to restore the ruins of Santa Cruz. That's the big monument that we can see up here. It's a ruined castle at the moment, and this one here we want to restore. For this, there's already the renovators coming in, so let's just unload them at the harbor, and we're bringing them to the renovation project. So now they're just sitting around somewhere here and renovate the abandoned buildings. Let's start with the renovation. So up here we go, and wait a second, do we already need to go with that? Renovate the abandoned buildings. After the experts have done their job, you now have a detailed plan on how to begin the renovation. Your workers have to erect a huge scaffolding to protect the remains of the wall from further damage. You will also need to gather many general building materials in order to begin work on the building's foundation. There is a risk that the outer edges of the building will continue to crumble and fall into the sea below. To begin the renovation, stockpile the necessary building materials at your trading post. Alright, it's quite a lot of materials. Lucky us, of course, we do have a nice big town already. So we do need 250 tons of cement, 100 tons of sails, lots of timber, steel beams and bricks in addition. Let's actually send this one here back home to Panagos. And in Panagos itself, let's go in. Oh, it's snowing right now in Panagos. That makes me want to go back right away to Santa Cruz. This is not a pleasant place to be right now, even though of course it's a pleasant metropolis. Alright, so let's get in, get the building materials and move back to Santa Cruz. Alrighty, while we continue onwards with the ship, let's also have a look. We have fulfilled all the needs for the jornaleros with the fried plantain and the ponchos coming in. Let's have a quick look here at my production and consumption, looking rather swell. So let's go ahead, yes, and upgrade the people to obreros. And I'm specifically not using the hacienda this time around, because I think we should be going with a normal building process all the way up to artistas, of course. And this is my goal then. With those upgrades, we have also made Santa Cruz a colony and unlocked a few new goods in the process. Perfect. Alrighty, next step is, of course, once again, a bit more timber. We're producing 24 per minute right now, which is okay. We could further boost this with the working conditions, or, yeah, well, easy as pie. Let's also just go ahead and add us 2 more lumberjack huts. Getting a bit closer there to the city now, but it should still be fine. And then also here once more. And with that, I would also like to continue with a bit more expansion of the city itself. So we do have another block that we can add then here. Let's keep the double road available there. And then once again, the whole thing on the other side. And there's my triple road then, that we're also going to need for something later. Alright, so let's have this one. There is a bit of space up there. We still have that marketplace, so this should not be a problem to use at all. Just a question of what kind of blocks I would like to use here. With the additional building materials, let's go ahead and upgrade our medium trade post and also send Wild Thing with a bit of timber that we still have and a few bricks that we also still have over here to Santo Lomé, where we do have our sugarcane fertility that I would like to use, of course, to provide Santa Cruz with juicy rum. That's pretty important, as yeah, it is a need required for happiness sakes, and we want to keep that population happy. That's the jornaleros. And for the obreros, we could have a look now at the tortillas and the coffee. Like yes, we do have lots of coffee on this island. However, of course, plantations require lots of space, so I'm not doing that. I'm going to put the plantations onto the islands that we've already found for ourselves. What I can notice it is that they don't have any rivers, right? So this one here is also completely flat, or it's not flat really, but it doesn't have any rivers. That's perfect for plantations. There is another island up here that would have then some caoutchouc and the tobacco, but coffee, cotton and sugarcane, that's already quite a bit for just one. And we only really need jornaleros for this. And that means that Santo Lomé is just becoming a small village that we can then have somewhere out here. Give it a smaller road then as well. Here, after all, it has a beautiful beach setting, right? And let's go ahead and just build us then a few houses that are going to live in this tiny village, providing me some juicy sugarcane. I'm also going to provide this island here with a lumber mill that we can use for some timber production, and of course a nice smaller chapel that we should also have then somewhere in the center. Let's go ahead and build this little village. This time around it's really a village. We do still have some building materials left that I could use for this. And then I'm just going to wait it out a bit. We are getting some honorary workforce in now, and then we can start with the plantations. Interestingly enough, there's also oil on this. We get lots of oil in Maya back. Alright, so the ship has returned, I think. No, not really, but because what we can see is the black dot on the map is actually also Vasco's ship here. So in this case here, that's a bit confusing. But there is my new ship coming in with the building materials that we're going to need for the foundation. While we still wait on the ships, let's actually go ahead and build us those plantations. We do need 2 plantations right away, and I would like to use Saint Tolomé for those 2 types of goods, right? So that's the sugarcane over there, and then that's the cotton. Both of them are going to be pretty important for us, so let's go ahead and start with that. Some production here. Let's actually start with 4. Let's start with 6. Let's start with 7 even. I don't care. It's cheap production. We have lots of money, and we can just do this. Also, it's just beautiful to see big fields blowing in the wind, more or less. And with that, we have some basic sugarcane production. And then over here, we have our cotton that I would also like to start right away. Let's have that one here. And then I need to wait for a bit more timber to come in. We're producing that already. I'm boosting them to get a bit more timber out. However, both of my ships are here now. I can use my wild thing to get more timber over, and I would like to do this. So that's 200 tons, and 100 ton we get over to Surebiales right over here, because this island here is going to be my coffee production and my corn production. Look at the space, beautiful. So we can use both of these things, and 100 tons should be enough to jumpstart that colony as well. So ship is on its way, and after that we go to Saint Tolomé to deliver some more timber, even though we are already at 15 tons again, so I can build me some 2 more there at least to get the cotton production up and running. One thing we need to make sure though is the oil deposits, so that we have over here. I've already also built me a small road that's going to be a train network at some point, because we just do have those fields here going to the beach right away, and then we have those fields here, so we can also connect them with the beach, and in the middle we do have a bit of village life. However, 245 honoraries, it's going to last us for a while. Those people are not particularly happy right now. That's because I'm boosting the sawmill here, so we can also stop with that now. I'm in no particular hurry there to get more timber in, as we already have plenty of plantations now, and I'm not going to need anything in the future. So that should be fine now. Perfect. Meanwhile, that ship is arriving at Surebiales. So let's just go in and unload 100 tons. Well, not quite there. 150 is fine to have. And let's send the ship onwards to Saint Tolomé then, even though, yeah, the timber is not super necessary. Let's continue with Santa Cruz. I've reinforced some of my productions here, so we should be looking at a nice surplus in goods. We are, for ponchos and fried plantains, we're having twice as much as we need. And with that, let's just also unload those goods here. So I can just be sure, right, that we can also upgrade more people if I want to obreros. I mean, holy cow, we can go crazy here. And then let's just have a look at this ruin up here, where we can now start with that foundation. Looking much better already. Looks like a proper construction site. And this one has now the next phase activated. Restoring the colony. Now that the first important steps in the restoration of the castle have been completed, talented artists must be recruited who can restore the rooms and floors to the original state. Vasco wants to work as faithfully as possible to turn this former residence into a new and attractive training center for new military personnel. This is urgently needed to strengthen the emerging colonial fleet. And we do need 2,500 obreros. So yeah, requirements are quite steep if you look at that. So I do need to continue, of course, with more upgrading. Just upgrading is not enough though, as we are also going to need, of course, to provide goods to further boost them. And those 2 goods are actually sewing machines that we are going to need, and beer. So I'm going to need a new trade route here as well that is working with Panagos. Can I, by the way, upgrade here or anything? No. So let's use can I, that we already have, for this new trade route that I would like to use between now Santa Cruz and then also my capital city Panagos. And we're going to load in some of those machine parts. We should have plenty of them available. So let's go with 200 tons. And then I'm also going with some beer. And we're also having lots of beer in stock. Anything else we might think about while we're at it? We are producing bricks ourselves. Steel beams is definitely something I can put in here. And then there's of course going to be a few more goods than with the artistas. So in this case here, I'm going to leave some space available there as well. Let's just turn them in. And can I, where are you? There you go. The first trade route to Mayabek. In the middle of the night, it leaves the port. To further save some space, I could have my full run production in San Tolome, honestly. We do have the workforce and it's just factories that I would need here. The cotton though I would get over then to Santa Cruz. So we do need to find us a smaller spot, probably somewhere here. This is going to be my factory area that we can then have. And for this I will also need a few more lumberjacks, right? Because they will, we will need a lot of logs then in the process as well. So let's go ahead and add us some 2 more lumberjack huts right here. That I have my log production, my sugarcane production, and with that we can actually get crazy here now with some rum production as well. For this, I might just for the future also plan ahead with a trade union so we can boost them at some point. And then I would like to have my rum distilleries. And of course, as with every industry, we are also going to need some protection against the elements and against my own people, of course. And yeah, I think actually without further ado, let's get started on that. Let's build the first 4 rum distilleries. Which is actually a bit more than I was intending to do here. So with the production here, we are consuming now 8 out of the sugarcane. And log-wise, we're at 16 of 16. That is equal. And with that, the production of 8 is hopefully enough with Santa Cruz to align. Where we do need right now 3. So we have a nice surplus production. But don't forget, the good people of San Tolome will also want some rum. That's perfectly fine. The consumption is minimal. And they will just be happy for it. So we can boost them. Yeah, or we can push them. That would be my my real goal here. Let's have a few more blocks then around the market square. I mean, easily done. And we do have enough space on this island here anyway. Meanwhile, we can have a look at Sorebiales. So we're just doing the same thing here as well. This is a massive island. I mean, look at that. I'm probably just going in with a main road all the way through, just for the fun of it. And then, once again, we're having the coffee here. I'm not entirely sure how far we're going to push this island. So actually, let's keep a bit of an industrial zone then here in the harbor area and have the village in here more or less, right? So let's move the village a bit further inwards. So I can safely build me a smaller industrial area than here. We do have, as far as I can see, 17 oil fields. That's these here, these, and these. So that's also quite a bit. Where we're going to have then those train tracks, right? So we can also already lay them out here a bit, so that I know that we are not going to build anything over there. And this goes then into the industrial harbor as well. But seeing the clay deposit over there, it would just mess up with my city building. So let's just actually get the city down here into the harbor area once more. I've already started with this side of it, so that we have everything we need, really. The only thing in this dense forest, holy cow, it's really hard to see something. Right here by the oil fields, we're just going ahead with some smaller timber production then as well. It's cheap as can be, right? So there's nothing I need to worry about here. And we're just going, yeah, probably with 3 for the moment. Let's also get them started then as well right here. Always make sure that we have a connection with the warehouse as well, because if we have a surplus of timber, then we at least also want to get in a bit more logs as well. Let's actually build all of this right away. We have the basic workforce for this, and let's also go ahead and just get me that chapel up and running. And in here, we can also still squeeze in some more to start with this new colony as well. So that's the third one now. Cerebiales, it's called. And it's going to be responsible for coffee or tortilla production. And for starters, we're also having some corn plantations here and some coffee plantations. They're also being boosted then by the trade unions as, yeah, I'm definitely going to need some higher volumes, but I don't think we're going to need that much volume as I'm not supporting any big megacity like Panagos, but rather Santa Cruz. The workforce we have, I think we can actually go ahead with this right away. Let's build the first warehouse and let's get started with 3, 4 corn plantations. That's for 2 tortilla makers. That will be fine already. And in the next step, I'm also going to have the coffee. This is a ratio of, I think it was 1:1, right? Yep. Actually, it's 2:1. If we boost it, it's even more than that. So let's also build 4 right away on that side here. Easily done. And with that, what we can do now is, of course, also establish as a trade route. We can go with 2 ships, of course, if I want to. For now, let's go with 1. I do have only 1 ship in the region, and we're building more huge colliers, but might take a while, actually. Let's just do this and have us a smaller loop that we have then here, right? Santa Lome, it is where we're starting. Here we already should see the first run popping in. There it is, 63 tons. Let's just go with 200 tons. And then we do have also my other good that we're producing here. That's the cotton. Let's also go ahead with 200 tons there. In Cerebiales, I'm going to, load then the coffee. Another 200 tons. It's a rather fast ship, so I'm pretty sure the loop is done rather quickly. And then we also have the corn, another 200 tons. And we're, unloading all of this in Santa Cruz. Going to be quite a busy trade route here. And what's the ship? The Wild Thing. The Wild Thing is now going to deliver us those goods back and forth. Alrighty, starting already in Santa Lome. With that out of the way, there's going to be lots of goods now coming into Santa Cruz, right? So not only the coffee, not only the corn, not only the cotton, but also soon the sewing machines and also beer from Panagos once my ship comes back home here. So Santa Cruz is going to see a nice growth then here rather quickly. The only thing we still need is, of course, in the industry zone. First of all, train-wise, I would like to have, there's the train harbor, right? There is no hydroelectric dam, unfortunately, so we're going to make us a nice train that goes probably somewhere here and then also to the other side, right? So I definitely want to already plan this one in for the train that I'm going to need. So this is the oil, right? And we're going to have then 1 power plant here, so we can actually just close it with that one. And then we're going to have 1 on the other side as well, so that we really cover the whole industrial zone then as well. Very good. And with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and make this road a bit bigger so that I know this is my train route then, right? And on that side, we can then also have more industry. And by industry, of course, we do need some processing. And that's the coffee roasters that are coming in now soon. For them, just like on this side here, I would then also like to add a trade union. So not only do we boost those industries then with a trade union, but also with electricity. It's going to be some nice output there. A bit of distance there to the city I would like to have for some walls then that we can add. And with that, I think we have everything set up for the coffee roasters. How many we need? That's a question, really, that I have no idea about, because I don't know how many people we're going to have here in Santa Cruz at some point. I think with that, we're looking rather swell. Wait a second. Here we could have then a warehouse situated, together with, as always, whatever we need is the fire station just here as well. Let's get us this road. That's already quite a few coffee roasters, right? That's going to provide 16 coffee baseline with the coffee roasters. Boosted, it's going to be 32. Boosted further, we could get up to 40, 45 tons of coffee out of these. Right now, we need 0 tons, even though we already have 800 obrers. So I think this is going to be quite nice for the future here, output-wise. Of course, there's always room for improvements then. That's one thing. The other one is actually bombins. So with that, we're getting the cotton in already. Bombins is another very important good that we're going to need. And the tortillas, of course. With tortillas, there's another thing. We are actually getting the corn done here, right? Yes. Wait a second. First of all, let's build me those warehouses. And second of all, of course, for tortillas, we are also going to need cattle farms. Now, cattle farms do require a lot of space, right? So we have 4, we have 7, 8 here, and that's already quite a bit of space. I could go ahead then and copy me these blocks here, then a bit further over, right, to get a few more in. So that's my cattle farm area then here. And let's go ahead and also build me that warehouse. And we've built 4 corn plantations. Let's also go ahead and build 4 cattle farms then here as well with their farms as well. Getting them out of the way is pretty important. So we have the beef. And yeah, that's actually a good that we also need to transport over. Lucky us, just on time, we have finished another huge collier. Let's load it with some materials that we might need then, right? I'm definitely going to need me some steel beams, some additional windows and reinforced concrete. And also some weapons. Wait a second, no, steam motors, because we might have some tractors at some point too. Let's get all of this over to Santa Cruz, and then we have an additional trade route that we can assign. Perfect. Meanwhile, we can continue in Santa Cruz then with my production. So the coffee will be rolling in soon, hopefully. And then we have the rum. Oh, there's still not a single new good coming in. What is going on? There it is, right? There's the things coming in with the cotton, the corn, the coffee, and the rum. The coffee roasters will already be waiting. Let's build none yet because it's not enough coffee beans. What we can do is we can continue with the city expansion. And for that, we will also need some bricks. So I'm going to build me the brick factories here and the clay deposit. And let's just see, yeah, over there, this one is far away. So let's use this one here by the oil fields. We can also easily have another clay production than just messed up here. There you go. So now we have 4 tons of bricks that we produce per minute. Might not be enough yet. And yeah, you just came in right time. So we are finishing another block of the city. And that's of course here the blocks that we move then towards the big harbor for the tourists and stuff like that. Because tourism is going to play a pretty big role here too. We have lots of timber that I can use this for. And yeah, the other new service building that my obreros would like is then also the boxing arena. So for this, there we have it. And we need to have some proper location for this. The first one, yeah, we can have just beside our chapel. What a fitting place that is. And let's go ahead and build this one, providing happiness for my people. And the other boxing arena, I might actually move a bit further down. This is looking like a good spot for it. So let's just remove those and get us this boxing arena then up there as well. Oops, I just deleted it now. And here we can have another one, blueprinted only for the moment though, so that we can really maximize then the coverage of that. Bear in mind, we have also paved roads soon, and with that we can further boost my reach. The rum is coming in. Oh my goodness, this makes people really happy. Lots of Scoodly pooping around in the city as well. And with that, rum out of the way, beer is coming in soon, the boxing arena, yeah, and then it's just tortillas and coffee and bombins and swing machines. Holy cow. I would like to further optimize my cotton trade route here. So we do have already the 5 plantations here. Let's make it 6 plantations. And with that, let's go ahead and have us also some 3 cotton mills. The reason for that is it further saves the space for something that only requires jornaleros. And we can use them to get the to save the space then also in Santa Cruz. And instead of this now, the ship is where exactly right now? It's just unloading the cotton. That's perfect. So we can just wait for it to do the job. And it's then being programmed to take the cotton fabrics. We're going to need lots of cotton fabrics for all different kind of goods. So it's just fine to process it here and then deliver the processed good to Santa Cruz. And with that, what we need is, yeah, we can save the space for the bombins, right, that we have here. For them, we only need now the alpaca farm with the felt producer. And once again, I could look at Cerebialis, or we just look at our existing alpaca farms that we have in Santa Cruz. And I think for that, it's safe to do it here. And we can then add the felt producers over there. Now, this would be already 12 felts per minute, so that's already fine for me. I'm specifically building it up here by the farms because I don't want to have the felts being produced in the industry zone, because we might need to move the felt at some point. And yeah, I really just want to have the final product being produced in the industry zone, where we can also then properly boost it. Everything else below the final product we can build somewhere else to specialize then further. So I might at some point just move those felts. Let's actually build 3 alpaca farms here, and with that 3 felt producers. Let's also have another another warehouse then in this region. The ratio here is 1:1, just exactly like that. So with that, we have everything on the way, and we can just focus now on the bombing weavers and the tortilla makers over here. And for these, once again, I would also like to have my trade union, so we can have another one fine just here, and another one then fine just somewhere here. I'm going to move it around a bit more again, but for now this is fine. And then, another huge collier, we're going to need that. So let's just get this one. Did we just build 2 more? Oh, okay. I lost track of time and we built 2. And let's get this one with a few more construction materials over there as well. We're also building another power plant somewhere over here then. Right, and then we have this area available now that's also getting fully boosted with power in both directions, and that's for the bomb bins. Now, once again, we're producing already 2 baseline for one of these. Boosted, it's actually 4, and with trade unions, we could push it up to 6 as well. So we don't really need that many of these guys here. Still, of course, let's go ahead and just place us the first 6 here, and that is then already a production of 12. Bomb bins in the baseline, and let's just go ahead and add another one here. We can always, we can always just delete them again if it's too much. Another fire station up here. We need to be careful, right? I would like to have a wall here for sure, so that's that. And the fire station should be fine for this. Another warehouse then somewhere over here. Should I be worried about these airships constantly flying over? Top Banana? No, probably not. Who names his airship Top Banana? He certainly does not have any intentions of going to war. And let's just see, another one here, and that's the bombins. And the other one, of course, is the tortillas that we have down here. Once again, yeah, it's the same ratios with the bombins, and it's also 2. So let's go ahead and have those guys then here. I'm also within range of a trade union. And once again, holy cow, this is just way too much. Right, so I'm never going to need that many tortillas. But, of course, it's always nice to have the space reserved for it. And with that, we have the whole industrial foundation all the way up to artistas now. So we can really focus a bit on city building, getting all these productions going. And then, of course, finishing onwards with that quest that we have. I'm loving it so far. I hope you do too. Lots of space, lots of opportunities. Onwards to the next episode. Stay tuned.